If someone you love suddenly stops eating, sleeps almost all day, and feels cold all the time, this may not be just aging. These are not random symptoms. They follow a pattern, and most people don't recognize it until it's too late. The human body has its own language, and it begins to speak clearly long before the final stage. Today, I'll walk you through 8 signs that many families miss. Some of them may look frightening. Others may seem small or confusing. But once you understand what's really happening, you can replace fear with clarity. And that changes everything. Let's start with the first sign, and it's one that people often misunderstand. Sign has hone appetite shift. Sign number 1 is a change in appetite. But it's not just not feeling hungry. Digestion is actually one of the most energy-consuming processes in the body. So, when energy becomes limited, the body makes a decision. It shuts hunger down. You might notice they stop asking for food, or they only take small bites. Sometimes they prefer just liquids. This is not stubbornness, and it's not giving up. It's the body protecting what matters most: the heart and the lungs. One of the hardest things for families is watching someone they love refuse food. But forcing them to eat can actually cause discomfort. Now, the next sign is the one that often scares people the most. Sign #2, breathing changes. Breathing may become irregular. You might notice deep breaths, followed by long pauses. Sometimes it can feel like they've stopped breathing entirely. This pattern is called Cheyne-Stokes respiration. It looks alarming, but here's what's important to understand. In most cases, they are not in pain. This happens because the brain is struggling to regulate oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. It's no longer working with the same precision. What you're seeing is a natural reflex, not suffering. The next sign is quieter, but just as important. Sign #3, extreme sleep. You may notice they are sleeping 18, even 20 hours a day. This is not laziness. It's not depression. It's conservation. When the body enters this stage, it tries to reduce all unnecessary activity. During sleep, everything slows down: heart rate, breathing, metabolism. It's the body's way of saving energy. And when they do wake up, they may seem distant or less responsive. This can be painful to see, but it's not emotional withdrawal. It's physical. They're not choosing to disconnect. Their body is doing it for them. Now here's a sign you can actually feel with your own hands. Sign #4, cold extremities and color changes. Touch their hands or their feet if they feel cold, even under blankets. This is a clear signal. The body is redirecting blood flow away from the extremities and toward the core, toward the organs that are still essential. You might also notice a bluish or purple tint on the lips or fingernails. This is called cyanosis. And sometimes a patchy, lace-like pattern appears on the skin. This is known as mottling. These are signs that circulation is slowing down. The body is focusing only on survival. The next sign confuses many families because it doesn't behave the way we expect. Sign #5, memory and awareness changes. You may notice something unusual. They forget what just happened, but remember events from decades ago with surprising clarity. That's because forming new memories requires energy, and at this stage, the brain is conserving that energy, so it stops recording the present. But older memories, especially emotional ones, remain accessible. They might even speak to people who are no longer alive. This can be deeply emotional. But instead of correcting them, it's often better to gently go along. Because in that moment, their mind is somewhere that feels safe. Now, here's a change that you can actually see in their face. Sign #6, the glassy look. Their eyes may appear different, less focused, sometimes fixed on a distant point. Their face may also become thinner, more defined. This is sometimes called the Hippocratic face. It happens as the body reduces fluid retention and muscle tone. It can feel unsettling, but it's a natural part of the body's gradual shutdown. The next sign is rarely talked about, but it's very important. Sign #7, kidney and digestive changes. As blood flow continues to decrease, the kidneys and digestive system begin to slow down. You may notice urine becomes darker and less frequent. Bowel movements may stop. This can be difficult to see, but it's not something going wrong. It's the body closing systems that are no longer needed. A natural reduction, not a failure. And finally, the last sign. This one is often misunderstood. Sign #height, restlessness, and temperature fluctuations. One moment, they may seem calm. The next, restless. They might reach into the air or pull at their clothes. Their forehead may feel warm while their feet remain cold. This is known as terminal restlessness. It's not necessarily a sign of pain. It's the nervous system trying to find balance as the body begins to let go. Final conclusion. These signs are not random. They are not meaningless. They are a map. The body's way of saying, be here, now. This is not the time for panic. It's the time for presence. To sit random, to hold their hand, to speak softly, to say what truly matters. Most people don't understand these signs until it's too late. Now you do. If this video helped you understand something important, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing we can give is simply being there. If someone you love suddenly stops eating, sleeps almost all day, and feels cold all the time, this may not be just aging. These are not random symptoms. They follow a pattern, and most people don't recognize it until it's too late. The human body has its